Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this message. I'm Erica, Psychic Medium Oracle Prophetess. Welcome in. The spirit animals are coming through very strongly. Like, we have messages. So I'm going to use Spirit Animal Oracle or a Spirit Animal Oracle. There's a lot of different Spirit Animal Oracles out there. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to bump you. So let's go ahead and see what comes through. I hope everyone is doing good. If you're seeing this like at the day that I upload this or like the week that this is uploaded, the energy is like super powerful. The sun is popping off right now, and we have coronal mass facing Earth. We have M-class solar flares coming through. Like we're being blasted with energy coming through. So hunker down, ground down. Make sure you're transmuting like you're transmuting energy out of the body through breath work and channeling, writing, exercise, like whatever you got to do. But it's going to be wild this week. So especially right now, today, over the next few days. Okay. So, just a little energy FYI, okay? Because I love you guys and I care, and that's a big part of my work, right? Is to report on the energies. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. These cards are like, I mean, come on, like these are like way bigger than my hands, right? Like these, oh my God, this is like hard. Okay. Ooh, the dragon and the butterfly. Whoa. Speaking of powerful energies, speaking of transmutation and clearing, the dragons are phenomenal to work with and connect to for clearing, especially certain dragons like the fire, like the elemental fire dragons. Like they're really good to get down into the nooks and crannies of density and dark stuff. Fourth dimensional things, like they really help, fourth and 3D. But it says supernatural, so it speaks of I'm hearing supernatural abilities. Okay, so a lot of the sun, like I just spoke of the solar flares and the solar storms that are coming in, like it's facing Earth, so it's like all that energy is coming down and it's coming in through our crown chakras. That is our, quote, supernatural abilities, even though we all know that we are supernatural beings having a human experience, like but it says you are the ancient wise sage. Activations of past lives, activations of past life memory, activation of past life wisdom. You are the ancient wise sage. So the dragon is coming through reminding you of your capabilities is what I'm getting. Like your capabilities, what you're actually capable of. And what kind of like knowledge and wisdom, like esoteric, mysticism, ancient knowledge and wisdoms about astrology, the sun, the earth, the elements, everything. And even, okay, some of you psychics, mediums, some of you seers, okay, it's going to be for my fellow seers out there. Some of you guys, you can see other supernatural beings very easily. Or, like the dragons, you might actually visually see them very easily. Whereas other people might feel them and sense them or just connect with their energy, but maybe they don't visually see them. But I'm also getting like just supernatural, like the supernatural. So you might actually have a connection with some of the supernaturals, like, which are interdimensional beings, most of them, right? Like Bigfoot, or I can't even think, like Bigfoot or fairies, gnomes, you know, all that kind of stuff, which we know are real, right? Like there's actually giants, and the Nephilim are real, and then there's like little people. Like, and when I say little people, I mean like average size looking people, humans that are, you know, like anywhere between like 8 to like 14 inches high, but they look just like little people. Like if you've ever seen that, if you guys remember, if you're like in my age group, that movie that when we were younger called, I think it was Indian in the Cupboard. Like he was just like a normal looking guy, but he was, you know, miniature. I already said the Fae, but also like supernatural beings like vampires and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm just sharing everything that comes through. Maybe you're like someone who's always had a real strong, like kind of weird attraction to like vampire lore and like vampire mythology and stuff. We all know vampires they're not creatures that are made up, okay? Like they walk amongst us. They live in, a lot of them live in very big cities, especially like underground tunnel systems, but they live wide, like out in the open. And there's different kinds of vampirism, FYI. Energy vampires. There's, I think they're called the Seguin or something there. Anyways, there's different levels, different kinds. But anyways, or supernatural beings that are literally like, they just look like regular people. Like they literally walk amongst us. But some of them are, and I know this sounds crazy to the asleep, unconscious people, or even maybe some of you guys who are just like waking up in your spiritual journeys, but it's like the more you know and the less you know. The more you awake, like the more you awaken and unplug even further from this simulation that we all live in. It's like for me, the higher I rise, like the more my gifts open, the more that I can see, the less I know, you know, like people think they have it all figured out. But again, those are like the asleep people and they don't know anything at all, right? Okay, so anyways, I don't know where all this is coming from, like, but anyways, you might have like really been into like, you know, like stuff like Anne Rice, her books, her novels, Interview with the Vampire, like movies like that, Twilight, like stuff like that. Okay, anyways, moving on. You can shapeshift at will. Oh my God, you guys, I swear to God, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that. You can shapeshift at will. For some of you guys, like, part of your ancient wisdom and knowledge is how to, I mean, if you're a natural born witch, a lot of witches can shapeshift. Some witches, like they'll shapeshift into their familiar, you know what I mean? But it's about, mostly what I'm seeing is, I spoke of like your gifts, your supernatural abilities that are opening more, like your oracular, like just your psychic medium, just all that, right? Your intuition's getting, it's like, that's just what's happening right now on Earth. Like we are, the fifth dimension has anchored. So the more that you awaken, the more your gifts come online. It's just what happens. It's the natural evolution of awakening, I guess, right? But that's, okay, so this makes sense. So I was getting like supernatural beings, but like also there's a lot of supernatural beings that are very like freaky, okay? Like, especially in like certain like energy vortex areas, like places that are like portals, places that are hotspots for supernatural occurrences, etc. Whether it's ET, whether it's shapeshifters, whether it's Bigfoots, whether it's, you know what I mean? And you hear people all like, people get, I mean, like think of like Appalachia, like, so you might be drawn to like, for some reason, the Appalachian Mountains. You might be drawn to, which are also known as the Blue Ridge Mountains. You might be drawn to certain places or energy vortex centers, portal places like Sedona or Mount Shasta or Machu Picchu, or you know what I mean? So it's like you could have a strong connection to some of these places, Egypt, the pyramids. You could just have a natural past life connection with this stuff where the land literally speaks to you. The land literally calls to you. It's like inviting you to come visit this area or this region or this place because you have some kind of connection to it. I don't know. But I want to go to the Appalachian Mountains. I love like that whole, like, I love, like, I'm very connected, also from some like past life energy with me, but I'm very connected to like the East Coast, in certain areas, but especially like the Carolinas, like South Carolina, North Carolina, etc. Okay. Louisiana. So I've always been super drawn to, like, there used to be this show, I don't know if it's still on, but there used to be this show on TV, I think, what was it, the History Channel or Discovery? I can't remember, but the show was called Mountain Men, and it was like, you know, these like mountain men that live off grid, that like, you know, do everything on their own, whatever. And like one of the guys that was on the show, he lived in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Appalachia. And I just, like, whenever I watched that show, I just loved, I always was happy when when he was on, you know, because I loved his homestead. I loved the whole region, but I also literally could feel the energy of like the forest and stuff. So anyways, you might be very drawn to these regions, but I will also say the Appalachian Mountains scare the absolute shit out of me, because I know it's such a hot spot. From what I've seen, the Appalachian Mountains, actually, some of you, I don't know why I'm talking about this so much. So for some of you guys who live in these regions or these states, Georgia, etc., Carolinas, Kentucky, Tennessee, like, you know, whatever, the whole like region that it connects to. But I know it's a hot spot for supernatural activity. Okay, so I know if I go there, me being me with my gifts and my energy, I have to be careful, really careful. But I'm also not planning to go there like in a state of fear. You know what I mean? But there are, I mean, the people who live there, they have rules about the forest. You know, like if you hear it, no, you didn't. If you see it, no, you didn't. Like basically, mind your business, ignore it, don't feed into things, because there's a lot of reports of. They call them, I don't want to say the word, I'm not going to say the word, but every single ancient tribe around the world, they all have their different versions of these beings, these demonic being things, whatever, that live in like typically very rural, very dense, you know, places, but, they call them flesh pedestrians. So I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to say the actual word. I don't want to like give any power to it. You know what I mean? But anyways, like everyone who lives there and like the people who live there for generations and like they know of these things, just like the Native Americans and other places around the world. So again, this could all tie into past life stuff. I don't know. Mastery is your destiny. Becoming an ascended master. Like I literally just on YouTube yesterday channeled a message with Yeshua, and the message literally was like a reminder of, hey, remember, you're an ascended master walking the earth, just like in Yeshua's last incarnation or Mary Magdalene's last incarnation. They were not yet ascended masters. They hadn't officially you know, ascended their earthly school, but they did, and then they became ascended masters, right? So they're like, so I just did a reading on that yesterday where Yeshua was like, remember that you are a new earth, golden age, like ascended master. You know what I mean? Like you are mastering your ascension through your journey here. You are the ancient wise sage. Yes, you have incredible, like super powerful, supernatural abilities that you're waking up to more and more and more. And it says here at the bottom, it's time to rise with dignity. Like rise with dignity. Like rise with like confidence in your power, remembering this. I feel like in this moment, the dragon is a mirrored reflection of you in the sense of power. Like when you think of dragons and how huge they are, and like, by the way, there's different size dragons. But yes, there are like massively huge dragons, right? Ethereal dragons, celestial dragons, angelic dragons, or like even like earthly dragons. But they can be very large. And so when you think of dragons, or you see them in a movie, or like on Game of Thrones or the House of the Dragon, they're huge. They're massive, like when they're full grown, and they're powerful, and they're magical. And that's you. Like you are, it's like the more that you, it's like you've been going through spiritual puberty. Okay. I don't know why it's like, it's coming through like that. Like, but it is like that, you know, like you have to like grow into your gifts. The more you ascend, the more you evolve, the more you mature into your spiritual supernatural abilities. So it's like at this moment in time for a lot of you, not all of you guys, some of you guys, you're not here yet. Some of you guys, this doesn't apply to, but for who this is for, you know, you'll feel it and know. And It's like it's time to like embrace your dragon, call on your dragons, embrace your inner dragon. And remember that like you're made of the stars. You are this celestial, supernatural, cosmic being. Don't let your very dense, limited physical like body, even though our bodies are powerful too, it's not as powerful or it's not infinite like your true soul essence. So there's something about that. I don't know. And then the butterfly rebirth. So you're going through this massive rebirth. It's confirmation. Because I'm getting like, I can literally hear some of your thoughts for some of you guys. Like I can hear the thoughts going through your head. You doubt yourself. You're like, am I rebirthing? Because I feel like I'm doing worse than I was 3 years ago when I started my awakening. Like that's the vibe that I'm getting here. Like you've been going through this awakening or whatever, and you feel like you've been doing the work, but you feel like you've regressed, or you feel like you're back in some kind of slump, or you know what I mean? Like, and so you question yourself, but that's how it is. Like whenever you're going through a massive like expansion within and out, you know, a rebirth, that means you've just recently, or you are closing out a cycle. You're going also through a death, right? So like metaphorically, spiritually, etc. So when you're expanding like that, that's often how it is. You kind of, it's like taking 3 steps back to take 20 steps forward. You know what I mean? But you're not regressing. You're not descending. You're not regressing. You're not going backwards. You're always exactly where you're meant to be. It is our human ego that gets in the way and starts like trying to like, you know, overanalyze and criticize and critique. And it's like, stop. Remember, you are the supernatural being. And what's happening is your supernatural soul essence and magic is expanding and opening. And so oftentimes when you're you know, turning into this butterfly, you have to leave other things and parts of yourself and habits and people and all kinds of stuff that, you know, sent you into the cocoon in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, you're not going backwards. You're being prepared to be catapulted forwards. Okay. You can reinvent yourself. Yes, you can. Who needs to hear that right now? You absolutely can reinvent yourself. In fact, when we awaken, this is all about soul evolution. We expand. We are constantly shifting. That's another part of the shapeshifter thing. Like, you are a shapeshifter because you're a master alchemist, because you're constantly shapeshifting into these newer, higher versions of who you are. You're becoming a better, wiser, braver, more beautiful, more, you know, healthy. Like you do all these things. So people like that watch you, people that know you, they're like, what is up? Like, this bitch is constantly changing. Like, she's always like talking about something new and like doing this and trying, you know, and starting this. And like, you're expanding when like other people who are still very plugged into the matrix, they don't change. Like, they will literally just get up and do the same robotic thing every single day and feel totally fine with that. Whereas you can't, you know, ignorance is bliss. You don't have that luxury anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you see everything and you feel everything. And because of that, you constantly are like, you just keep going and expanding and expanding. You know what I mean? You can reinvent yourself. Open up to the rewards of change. Open up to the rewards of change. Like, you just went through hell. If you're the butterfly in this rebirth mode, you just went through hell. Or maybe you are still in the cocoon right now and you're going to be emerging pretty soon. But either way, you go into the cocoon, you get crushed. Scientists still don't know what happens inside the cocoon to the caterpillar. They still don't know. It's like a mystery, as it should be. It's not meant to be figured out. Just like evolution of ourself and our soul. We don't need to nitpick it and figure it out and connect every dot. And that's the ego. That's the ego brain. We need to surrender and trust. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. And so it is. So anyways, you guys, I know this was kind of a weird one, but that's channeling. So thank you so much. And I'll see you again soon.